Do you see? So you might be spending so much effort because dom care is overcrowded, the system is dead. Did you consider the transport services? Private transport. And sometimes you also, I think I have got my brother-in-law here who has worked in the prison services. There are serious opportunities to provide healthcare-related service to the prison services. But those tenders, you don't find them on Proactis. So you need also to know where to find these opportunities. So the healthcare sector is big. We've got the children's home there. We've got, like, I'm just rushing through because I think I'm left with four minutes. Innovative transport expenditure. One of the issues which I want us to really look at is partnership, because it is difficult. Most local authorities are now requiring, if you are in Devon or some of those local authorities, they are now actually asking people to form partnerships so that they participate in the sourcing process. So be open where you are amongst ourselves. Let's create the partnerships so that we put our resources together. But like anything else, like I have said, I attend a church in my area. I've been attending my church for 20 years. But one thing I can tell you, from that church which I attend, 20 years ago, it was one. From that church, now we've got 7 churches. People coming from the church and forming their own. Coming from, and I'm saying, which God are we praying? This is exactly what then happens in business. It's all about you. You don't want to bring resources, you become one. You are more powerful. When you are one, you are more powerful. I will talk about this issue until people are tired. Every place I go, I talk about it. I come from Crawley. Crawley has got a very big Muslim community, but it has got one mosque. The whole of Crawley, one mosque. Friday, you want to go to the airport, forget. Between 1 and 2, they have gone to the mosque because they control all the taxis. At that point, money is not important to them. They go and do their praise, their religion. But what I am saying is these people have come together. What is wrong with us, especially the Pentecostal churches? Mushrooming everywhere. But you end up seeing that this is no longer about the church. It's about me. So that behavior doesn't start and stop there. It then transcends into business. That's why we don't want to partner. We want people just to see me alone. So that me alone syndrome, when we are here, we begin to say we are being segregated. But go to the big boys we are talking about. These big boys are a number of people who have combined their resources and under one name, which is exactly what we are saying. Health and Social Care Providers Network, if I haven't talked to Margaret, if we just go on the company's house and just add the financial values of our members, it runs into millions. But those millions don't translate into the benefits which we want within the healthcare sector. So what I'm simply saying to you here, let's think a bit wider, more than and beyond just the healthcare, the agencies, those who have been running agencies, they are feeling the effect of COS. If you have been running, I know people who have been running agencies, their hours. One lady, a company called Optimum Care for You is our customer. It's not breaking confidentiality. They used to supply around 4,000 hours a week. It has dropped to less than 1,000. Why? Because of so also, are we investing in the right healthcare? At the moment, it's not the wisest of things to do because of what has even been explained here about having so many people because of companies whose licenses have been revoked and all that. So there is so much work. So for you to be focusing your energy in setting up an employment agency, at this moment, it might not be one of the best strategies. But there is also capacity, there is. And NHS has also made their conditions in such a way that it's no longer lucrative for staff to go via the agency. So we need to be understanding the landscape of our industry before we jump into whether people are phoning, do you know anyone? Which is, again, do you know anyone? In this country, on most cases, you don't need to know anyone. Before I quickly go on the next point, which I will talk about tenders. People come to me, we write tenders. People come to me, I wanted to write a tender for Oxford. Do you know anyone in Oxford? You don't need to know anyone to win a tender. You just need to write a winning tender. That's it. So again, that mentality of you need to know someone for someone to... Let's give value where it is due. Let's have the opportunity to grow our business, and also the investment which has been talked, Chenge talked about the investment, a very important topic. Are we investing in our own selves and in our own knowledge? I've talked about this many times for those who come. We do supply policies and procedures for Ofsted and CQC registered companies. We require and we always see our customers who are phoning us looking for a document which they already have on the platform. Because they never have time. They don't read. They don't take time to read. They only take time to sign things only when things go wrong. That's when they will see. I'm seeing a petition against the citation. Citation has done nothing wrong. It bound you into a 7-year contract. You signed and you knew it. And then when you are deep down, that's when you say, they bound me into a 7-year contract. We wanted to protest against, and most likely it will take a very long time because you were given the opportunity, you were never forced to sign it, the terms were clear, you are going contract 1 to 7 years, you knew it. Suddenly, because you are bound, no customer, and you have 7 years to pay, that becomes an unfair contract now. So some of these things, let's utilize our solicitors to look at our documents before we sign them, so that they will see that this is structured well, this is not structured well. So the agency landscape, for me, at the moment, it's even going to be worse, as I think Andrew and Blue Hector talked about the new minimum wage and where it is going. It's going to be even more difficult for you to explore agents because people are not going to be opting for that. By people, I mean providers. So we need to be very careful in what we actually do. Right. I'm not going to teach. I've got a PDF which I've been sharing about writing a winning tender. But I wanted to talk really about tender writing so that you understand that there are two ways. You can either learn to write a tender, which wins, or you commission people to write tenders for you. Two things. If you have got time, I encourage you to learn. But it's a long process. If you are someone who is urgently needing to get contracts, if you don't have the expertise, find someone who can write a winning tender. But I will share separately for those. I think everyone here, you have left your emails at the door there. I will share the actual tender writing process, the whole of it, the PDF. We'll just email to all the people who have attended here because it is a section on its own. And given the 40 minutes, I'm already 5 minutes out of my time. I don't want to, my focus today has been on us looking deeper beyond just thinking of these 2-3 sectors which we are always working on. And also to say, please, just like what the previous presenters have said, if you are not able to do something, calculate and see whether you need an efficient accounting system for the accountant to do your books, or you want to do it yourself. You want to represent yourself on issues, or you want to look for a solicitor. You want to do your own in-house training, or you want to do external. Let's balance things as providers to know when and how to commission services. And tendering is an expensive and long process. So on average, tenders is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000. It's not easy money. But sometimes you are actually thinking you are losing 7,000 by winning which is one of the issues I have against when people inquire, even to solicitors, I think is always the issue. How much is it? You tell them 2,000 is too expensive. Against what? How can you say 5,000 is expensive when you are winning 100,000 contract? Wherever have you invested 5,000 and you get 100,000 back? You are actually getting it on the cheap. Yeah. But it's about the perception, appreciation, and knowledge. So within this, if ever there's anything my presentation I would want you to take back, is the opportunities are there. Explore these opportunities. I will also be sending, for those who would want even this presentation, because it's bigger, I think there are 4 more slides left, but in the interest of time, tendering is about bidding. But also, I can assure you, for those who are on contracts, being on a framework does not assure you to have clients. There are a lot of people we wrote tenders for here, but they haven't even got a single contract. So with this in mind, I don't know if there's anyone with a question in relation to the sector. I wanted us to open our minds, ladies and gentlemen, that the sector is there for us to take. No one is going to bring it to you. But sometimes, don't bet on an injured horse. When you know that this horse is injured and you continue flogging it, hoping it will perform. There are times when you see, you know what, the dom care is not for me. Let me explore. But invest in knowing. Don't also just jump into transport. Understand what is involved. What are the requirements? Are you ready for it? If you want to be a service provider to other services for NHS, go onto the NHS platform. You will see there are so many opportunities there where you don't need the CQC registration to be a supplier to NHS if what you're supplying is not regulated. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this will open your minds and think beyond just your day-to-day. For those who are still starting and deciding, do your homework, invest in yourself, learn. And when you learn, don't create a business which just depends on you, which functions when you are there. You need to have a business and systems which when you are not there, they still function. As long as a business stops because you are not there, you don't have a business yet. So you need to put systems, train your carers. Don't be afraid to give authority to your staff. Let them try, let them have effect so that you are able. We have got people who are here, by here I don't mean this room, who have not had a holiday for the past 3 years because they are afraid to spend a week away from their company. Why? Because the system depends on them. Yes, so let's work on having new systems. Let's work on supporting each other. When people come to you, and let's get the spirit of knowing the value. There are things which are worth paying. In our group, I'm always seeing people say, can someone send me an employment contract in a WhatsApp group? You get that contract, and that is where those things which have been talked here about. We are just using someone's contract which has not been vetted. You are just using someone's policy which you have not even read yourself. So sometimes invest in these things so that you get the appropriate support, and then that credibility will come to us rather than every time we are just seeing victim mentality. I personally want to have this gone so that we fail on our own without every time thinking we are segregated. We are not segregated. Our systems segregate ourselves. There's a tender which we did for Greenwich. It had said, if your income is not above 750,000 a year, you don't qualify for this tender. But below they said, unless you form a consortium. That person's income was not 750. I said, look for another person. You join, but you can't find them. Because one of them was saying, I contacted them and they said, you want to consume my company. So you can't win. Thank you very much.